people were told that they could go check scrambles. Anthony said that he tried to go check them and was denied at the data table to do so.
Everything you wanted them to do. Like, what more do you want these clock solvers to do apart from quit and solve a 3x3 instead?
But Dylan's trying to channel and
You can see the aura radiating off of Chris Mills as he walks back to the
Come on,
winning
dude, he's
area.
earned it, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the Millisecond with your hosts, Chris Mills and Dylan Miller. Dylan, how are you doing today? Are you excited for the very first episode of this podcast?
I'm very excited, actually. People don't know the lore behind why the pod started or why it's happening, but we know the lore, and it's really funny that it's actually coming to fruition. I'm really excited to be on the pod with you. You and me just gonna chop it up and have a good little time. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like when this podcast drops, it's going to be so unexpected. Like, we've told our mates, I've told some of my mates, but, like, I don't think anybody's just going to, like, think, like, whoa, Dylan Miller, Chris Mills podcast. Who would think of that? Anyway, we're going to make it happen. We're going to chat about some news. We're going to give you some tips as we are both speed cubing coaches, so we're kind of going to try and weave that into this as well. But, yeah, like, what's been going on with you? You're in Cali now, eh?
I am in Cali, eh? I just moved pretty recently. It's been a good time so far, actually. I've been really enjoying it. I picked up yoga. I've been doing yoga outside by looking at the mountains. I've done some cubing. I got 458 AO12, which is like freaking insane. It's like almost sub my PB AO5 from like before the day I also got PB AO5. I got 434. I told you I've been tracking the amount of sub-NAR averages I've gotten. And since the last time we talked, it's like doubled. I'm not going to drop the number, but it's a pretty.
So you went from
number.
1 till 2, right?
Yeah, for sure. I had a half. I don't know. I plus 2 out of 1, and then got a real one. No. Yeah, and then
I love how like you instantly get to Cali and you just start turning into a Cali girl. You know, you're hitting the yoga poses. You're hitting the down dog.
Yeah,
instantly.
Dude. Well, I was at Worlds 23 and I met a bunch of the Australian cubers and they said I had the Valley Girl accent. Like, they didn't believe I was from like southern US. They were like, "You have the Valley Girl accent. You talk like a Valley Girl." And I was like, I guess this is my life now. If someone on stream said I've already looked Californian as if this wasn't what I looked like before. So I'm just like, I don't know. I'm embracing the culture. I'm loving it out here.
I think you were manifesting the move, bro. You were manifesting it.
Oh, I definitely was. Yeah. I'm enjoying it. What's been up with you, man? How's it been going?
Yeah. No, we're grinding away at the university. I'm near the end of my second year now. Only 1 more year to go after this. I've been learning after Worlds. I saw the people popping out ZBs, and I'm like, You know what? I got to do that. I'm gonna learn some stuff. So I learned like full pi 2 weeks after Worlds. Then I started learning some like ZBLS. Then I went to a couple of comps and I was staying with my good friend James McDermott after my last comp. And he's like, "Yo, I'm going to teach you like half of HZB right now." And like 20 minutes went by and I learned like half of it. And I was like, I may as well finish HZB. So I've been learning ALGs. Like full ZB is close now. Like I feel like if I just grind for like a month, I can get it down. Well, the ALG learning down actually so fast is going to be a different matter. But I've got loads of comps throughout the rest of the year. I've got like a crazy amount of rounds coming up because I'm doing like the Pacific Island tour where I'm going. I was originally doing 3 of the comps, but I decided to save money and only do 2. But in like 3 weeks, I've got like 10 rounds of 3x3 or something like that. And then a month after that, it's New Zealand Nationals. And I want to try and win that this year. So I'm going to finish up ZBLS. Or I don't even know if I'm going to finish up that because I'm probably not going to even implement it fully until after Nationals. Because like right now, if I solve and try and do everything I've learned, I'm like getting 8s. And it's not good.
Yeah, that's how it goes. But it's okay. You'll be busting out ZBs, and everyone's gonna say you have aura and you're so cool and all that. So it'll be worth it. Well worth it.
Yeah, the goal is to get it down before Oceanics next year, which is an unknown location right now. But wherever it is, I'm gonna go, and I'm hoping to get my ZB down. It will be at the end of the year, most likely. So that's the long term, I guess, semi long term goal. is to be good at ZB for Oceanics. But yeah, for now, I've been learning, I've been practicing as well, and I think I got like a PB average of 50 the other day. I've been getting a bunch of threes recently. Like I feel like I've got 3 threes in the last week, and like one was a couple of days ago while we were cooling, and then I got another one yesterday. So I'm like, mate, maybe a 3 in competitions coming up, which would be sick. Dude. But nah, my next comp is in like a couple of weeks. Just gonna chill, hoping for sub 6 soon. But like really the main goal's OCR average. Like sub 6 is kind of like a sub goal at the moment. I just feel like it's just gonna happen soon anyway.
OCR is 5.5, right? It's
553. No, he still competes for the US. OCR is still 553, like Felix's former WR from 2019. And I've got a clip that in one of my vlogs from last year where it was the start of 2024, and I asked Faz, "Yo, when do you think OCR average is going to be beaten, and who do you think is going to beat it?" And he said 2025, and that was at the start of 24. So he thought it was going to live that year, and he was correct. But now it's looking like most likely it's going to live 2025 as well. Because I'm not like I could do it. I'd have to pop off. Yeah. And I think most people to beat it right now would have to pop off. So I reckon before mid 2026 it will be gone. But I don't think it's going to happen this year. And he predicted David Epstein would get it. And I think David's been locked at the same PR, like high 5 for quite a while. So I'm hoping to sneak on in there, you know.
I'm calling Tommy Capriles from the top rope, dude. he's coming in.
You know, he got sub 7 recently.
Oh, did he? No, I had no idea.
No, I think he got like 2 PLL skips though. It just kind of came out of nowhere.
Well, that happens. It's okay. We have a pretty beatable record that had 2 PLL skips over here in the States. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. 486. Yeah. Speaking of that record, obviously you're aiming to get it. We've seen Luke Garrett have 3 best possible averages sub 486 in like the last couple of months. Yeah. It's like everyone's like, who's going to beat it? I mean, if you weren't going to pick yourself to beat it, who do you think's going to beat 486?
I mean, it's really a toss-up. I think there's a lot of people who are very capable of beating it currently. I mean, I would put myself in there. I don't think I'm at all a top contender. I think either me, Greiser, Garrett, Maddie, Max, any of them on a given day could beat it. It's like super doable right now. I think my top 2 favorites are Maddie and then pretty closely followed by Luke. Just because Luke has a lot of rounds and we've seen that he's very capable of getting an average sub 486. He just needs to kind of execute on the last one. He's getting like crazy counting times, like multiple like 4.6s, 4.5s counting. Like it's pretty insane, but it's more so a matter of like, can he get that last solve in, or can he clutch it in 4 so he doesn't have to worry about it? We know classic Luke Garrett just like gets PLL skip on last, clutches like crazy average. But I think Maddie's my pick for right now, solely because he just moved to college. He's going to Columbia. He's trying to get a comp a month, which is way better than what he had before. So yeah, if he can compete, I think he's very solidly able to beat it. He also just posted a 4.7 AL12, which is like casual for him. So like, yeah, I think it's clearly Maddie, and then Luke because he gets a lot more rounds, and then outside chances of people like me and Greiser, and
obviously Max Park, because like we saw Max get a pretty good average. Like he had a sub 5 BPA at Western Champs. We were watching on stream, which was pretty fire. I think it ended up being like 5.2. So yeah, he's still a top pick, obviously. Like it's his record. It'd be pretty crazy if we saw like almost a bit of a comeback from him to improve that record. But anyway, let's move on to like what's been happening this week. We've got like a few big controversial stuff. Well, maybe mainly one big controversial stuff, which I think we'll get to later, which you probably all know what we're talking about. But firstly, let's talk about PSL Vegas. That was just a week ago now. You were there. How did it go for you?
Dude, PSL Vegas was like an amazing experience. It was held at the Downtown Container Park in Las Vegas. It was like 105 degrees out. It wasn't humid. It actually felt like pretty good. I was like kind of enjoying it. I thought it was going to be like my competitive edge over the other competitors. But it was really cool. Like this is the first time PSL's kind of like done the simul solving for like the lower bracket division, and it was really cool just like watching my friends. Manu competed, he did a ZB, that was super sick. I got to be like in the like spectator area cheering on my friends. The actual like container park was really really cool. Like I got to hang out with the dude who ran it the other day before PSL Vegas, and there was like a mantis shooting fire outside, and then we got to talk to the guy who operated it. He let me like play a song, and then after the comp, like the mantis did a little speech talking about like congratulations to Kyle Santucci, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane, dude. Like I've never heard cubing talked about in that context. It was really really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I was commentating from back here. Me and Rosie were commentating the whole competition, and like it went pretty late. Like it started getting dark, and like what was it like competing like in the dark outside?
It was pretty sick, honestly. I will say I was pretty beat by the end because at the end going against Kyle and Grands, like it was me against Kyle. That went to 5 sets. Me versus Caleb, I swept him in 9 solves, and then like back to me versus Kyle. And it's like it was probably like 8:30 or something. Like I was getting pretty beat. I told Shane Grogan on stream, he's like the judge, and I was like, yo, I'm kind of tired. I'm getting eepy. And he was like, yeah, it's pretty late. And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm freaking tired. Like, but it was cool. I really enjoyed it. It didn't actually affect me too bad. And like, I stayed up till 2:30 that night anyway, just hanging out with the boys before I drove out to California the next day. So yeah, I really enjoyed the comp. I thought I performed pretty well actually too. I got a lot of sub 5 singles. I got like a 5.3 average of 5 in there too. I counted a 4 in like 5 solves as well. So I felt pretty good about my performance. I did take the L to Kyle though, as typical, I guess. But I enjoyed it. It was cool seeing everybody.
Yeah, no, Kyle. I feel like Kyle performed better than I expected him to. Like he's pretty inconsistent in WCA competitions. Like it's well known that he's super quick at home and has crazy fast turning and good ZB knowledge as well. But I thought like the pressure of the stage and a head-to-head format was kind of going to get to him in person. But I don't know, he proved us wrong. Like he solved really well. We saw some really good turning, and like even the last solve, which locked the win for him, like he had to beat a mid-5 and almost just like didn't phase him. So good job to Kyle. It was crazy fun to watch. But yeah, like I was saying to you the other day, like when we were watching the grand finals and you had to like bracket reset Kyle to then go again to stay alive. I'm like, mate, I want my boy Dylan to win, but it's 4 p.m. I haven't eaten anything but unflavored corn chips all day. I want to get some. I want to get some scratch at me, mate.
Yeah,
but nah, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah, that's valid. That's valid. I actually had some really good food while I was there. I had this like lobster grilled cheese, and they put like Cheeto dust on the bread, and that was phenomenal. I had that 2 days in a row. It was amazing. Just little, I had to put that in there. Shout out Container Park, Las Vegas, but yummy food.
I don't even think I could like imagine what that would taste like. Like that's such an odd snack.
It was amazing. And the dude who actually ran the bar that I got that from, he was a cuber. He actually went to Nats 2016 in the States. And I was like, dude, crazy. I was there. I was 12 years old. he was like, oh, dude, you made me feel old. And yeah, he put cubes out in the container park, like in the outside seating at his spot. And a lot of kids came up and like were playing with the cubes and everything. And like that was really cool. And he does that for like a lot of other events too. SCS has had like an event at that same venue, and he did the same thing. The dude who runs the Mantis too, he was a cuber. And he said he has like a few solves, and I was like, wow, like I didn't know there's that many cubers and working everywhere now, bro. Little spot. Yeah, dude, it was crazy.
Cubing's everywhere. All right, well, that was PSL Vegas. Congrats for getting second. Unlucky, you'll get him next time. See PSL Seattle next month, right? That's your next chance.
Yeah,
surely you'll get the win there.
Yeah, I've competed in all the PSLs, no win yet, but we'll get one hopefully.
Anyway, one of the big announcements coming out this week is the WRC, the regulations committee. Yes, the regulations committee for the WCA. They announced some potential regulation changes that we're going to make for the start of next year. So I feel like all of them are kind of quality of life changes. Like they're not massive changes that are going to change what WCA competitions like. They're not like fixing major issues, but they're nice things. The first one, which we'll just gloss over because it's just a objectively correct choice, is 3x3 blindfolded is now going to be best of 5 solves instead of best of 3. So it's almost exactly the same, except you get 2 extra solves. And now instead of the record being a mean of 3, it will be average of 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really cool. I think in blind, people have said blind is kind of like, besides 3x3, kind of the other event that's going to break through. I think giving people more incentive to kind of just like send it, because mean of 3 is very, if you mess up one, it's like you want a mean. You get more chances to kind of send it, and hopefully we see some better singles. So, I mean, obviously more solves means like more chance at world record single or whatever. So, yeah, we'll see like a sub 12, sub 10 maybe down the road.
Yeah.
I'm just curious how it'll affect like rankings and like world champs going forward, because we'll have like the old 3 blind style and the new 3 blind style, and I don't know how that's going to go down.
Yeah, because the interesting thing here is like they did when they changed 3x3 of feet, and I think Megaminx as well, from mean of 3 to average of 5, is they didn't reset the rankings. Like, because like mean of 3 is easier to get a better time in, but it's not that much easier than average of 5. So the WCA is just thinking, you know what? Over time, average of 5 will start to flood out all of the mean of 3 records and rankings. So I don't think we need to do like a crazy reset or anything like that, which makes sense to me. But from an organizer's perspective, this just like makes sense. I feel like most organizers will keep the same like 10-minute cumulative time limit standard. But it's like the top 3 blind solvers, they're done with their 3 attempts before I've even like finished doing my T-perms on the first solve,
Yeah.
Like it really isn't going to make much of a difference at all, apart from allowing like actual blind solvers to get more attempts. So good job, WRC. I'm happy with this. It's a good change. Another interesting change, which hasn't changed anything yet, but it's more like foreshadowing a big future change, is they've essentially changed the wording for timers that are allowed in WCA competitions. And in the explainer document, they say they're looking into allowing non-speed stacks timers, and they're like working on a process of how they're going to accept them. So yeah, nothing has changed as of now, but I'm excited to potentially see like the Rubik's timer or a GAN timer or a MoU timer allowed in competitions as well. So we can start moving away from the devil that is speed stacks.
Yeah, dude, please. Please. I'm really excited because I think, I don't know, maybe I'm just thinking about money, but, you can get companies kind of like paying to be part of the WCA, and like also vetting it is really, really important. We've used the same brand the entire time, but between generations, like the speed stacks timers have had discrepancies between the way they time and like low battery and whatnot, resets and everything. So I don't know, it'd be cool to see maybe like Qi just dropped like a Bluetooth display. So, if the GAN Bluetooth timer gets allowed, no more freaking stupid audio cables. We can bring that straight to the display. Like, do whatever you need to do. Just get rid of those freaking cables. Makes life way easier at comps. Yeah, it's really, really cool. I mean, I'm really excited. Like you said, SpeedStacks is kind of a cringe company and everything. So if we can get away from that, that's amazing. Yeah, WRC.
Yeah, for once, they're getting some positive feedback. They've been getting heat recently, which we'll talk about later in the pod. But the last interesting change, like there's a bunch of minor changes to do with misscrambles, not proper misscramble problems, but like big cube misscrambles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they've also introduced the idea of dual rounds. So essentially, people were talking for a while about how, especially at like more newcomer friendly competitions, it sucks because if it's your first competition, you average like 30 for 3x3 and like 10 for 2x2. You'll do your round of 3x3, you'll do your round of 2x2, you'll get like good averages for you, and then that's it. You've done 10 solves and you're done at the competition, because as of current regs, you can only take the top 75% from the first round to the second round. And usually if you're a newcomer, unless you've been like lurking in the shadows for ages, you're not going to be able to like sneak into the second round. So essentially what this is doing, it's allowing 100% of people to go from first round to the second round. But then that kind of creates a little issue of, okay, what's the point of the first round then, right? If everybody's going to make the second round, there's no point of like trying to get a good result so you actually make the second round. So what they've done is they've said that they're essentially the same round. So you do round 1 and round 2, and your best average of those 2 rounds, best average of the 2 rounds is what ranks you. And then either that's what ranks you in the final round, or there could be a third round after that. I think this is just another great decision. It's just an option for organizers if they want to make their competition more newcomer friendly. It allows more people to get value for their money. I just think it's good. I've seen a few people complaining from an organizer perspective, but I just don't see it. If you don't like it as an organizer or a delegate, just don't have it at your competitions. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think this is a whole W. I don't see any bad thing happening. I mean, maybe there's more competitors in round 2 than normal, but also like, I don't know. I feel like just that happens. Like, just run the competition. I don't know. I organized one comp and it was really hard. So like, I'm not trying to say anything to organizers, but just like it's the same deal, right? Like top 75. What's the difference between top 75 and like whatever? I feel like it's pretty similar enough. So I think it's huge, especially for the newcomers, like you said. The issue is kind of WCA comps is like, if you don't really compete, then it's like, what's the reason to stay? This is also good because like you have more staff now, at least. You can keep the people around, and then the round should operate a little bit smoother. I know that like after all the kids don't make it through round 2 at local Louisiana comps, everyone's gone. The room's empty. So it's like keep them around, do the raffles, make them have fun. Maybe they can meet some more people in that time. And then more results. And I think this has cool implications for like we were talking about at World Championships. Maybe we can, instead of just doing like semifinals is what places you into finals, you can do like the best result of your 3 or like the mean of your 3. But just any additional formats, like I'm super pro of being added, especially just like at organizer's discretion. Like if an organizer wants to hold like a head-to-head WCA comp, like they should be able to do it.
Yeah, fully agree. But no, good changes from WRC. Obviously missing any sort of Scramble changes, which again we'll talk about later. But yeah, shout out to them. They're obviously all volunteers. There's a big team of them working behind the scenes. And it's great to see some changes to the regs. And this isn't all they changed. Like there is this massive document with loads of minor changes. I didn't even read through them all. I can't imagine having to write all of those. That's crazy. But yeah, shout out to them. Good work. Looking forward to hopefully seeing all these changes when the regs get updated on 1st of January, and I can start DNFing 5 3-blind solves instead of 3. It's gonna be great.
Yippee!
Anyway, going back to PSL Vegas, we saw Kyle. His best time was 4:08, and that was the best time of the competition. So we'll play that for you now, and then I think we're going to reconstruct it and kind of grab a few tips from that recon. So let's watch this solve now. There's Kyle, take it away. So yeah, he's solving on yellow. Pretty clean turning. He only has a lockup on the ZB. 4:08. Pretty clean solve. That would be Canadian national record single, which is pretty crazy. To get that in his first PSL, we can watch the top of his mop right here. You can't really see much.
Cam, bro.
Anyway, Dylan, do you want to walk us through the reconstruction of this solve?
So here, Kyle's going to be building an xcross with this orange-blue corner and this blue edge. And this is kind of an unintuitive xcross. I didn't see this whenever I went through it. So here, when you do R2, this puts our orange edge relative to our green edge. And then this D move is actually going to make our little 1x2 block here. And then now R prime. So we have 3 edges relative to each other. Our orange-blue edge is solved in its correct spot. And then dealing with this red edge, we have a few options. You could do FD and then solve this here, which I think is a little bit cleaner, but Kyle opted to just insert this edge on the right side, and that's actually going to break this orange-green pair. So he was probably looking ahead, or he saw this in inspection, but now you can just pair these up, RU R prime. This sets up our red-blue pair really nice. This is going to be a 5-mover. So now we'll insert this on the left side. That's our first 2 done on left, and we have all oriented edges for our last 2, so no rotations for this whole F2L. 5-mover makes this red-green pair here, and then now you're going to sledge this to get EO. You could also do like M prime U insert or whatever, but he sledges, and then now we get this nice 2GLL, U2GLL. Kyle does a different alg than maybe what you might know. This can be done as a Soon anti-Soon combo, but he does thumb on top, and he takes this pair out of the back, and then he does U, and then if you know this wind variation, it's just this, but from the backside. So split this pair, U2, solve this into a 3-mover, U2, solve this at the back, no AUF, 408. Really, really clean solve from Kyle, and if only he didn't lock up a little bit on that ZB, that was going to be sub 4, which is insane.
Yeah, pretty crazy solve. There's a lot of potential on this scramble, and I found a pretty good alternative solution, which has the same start. But what you said with doing a solving the last cross edge, so you do the same R2D R prime to make this block here, and then yeah, as Dylan said, if you do an F here, then you're actually preserving this pair, and it's less amount of moves to finish the cross. So then I'm going to do a D, and instead of doing the R prime here, we're going to solve this edge first, this pair first, sorry, then do the R prime. And from here, this is quite an easy pair, U2, and then solve it in the back, and then we can cancel straight into this, and then you're left with a left Soon and a U. And that is a 31 move solution. So if Kyle had the same sort of TPS for that, that's like a sub 3, which is crazy. But there was a lot of other possibilities, like ways that you could have done those last 2 pairs, which wouldn't have given you a left Soon. So still, Kyle found a pretty good solution there. And yeah, the way you built that orange, blue, yellow xcross thing was, I did see it, but after looking at the cube for like a minute. So fair play to him for finding that in 15 seconds. But yeah, let's look at this ZB, because there is, as you said, there's a couple of different ways you can do it. It's this case, right? So I actually don't use the alg Kyle learn, because I guess I was lazy when I was learning UZB, and you can actually execute this as you said, like a Soon anti-Soon combo, which may be considered more consistent, because the way Kyle executes this is with thumb on top. So you have to do a big regrip before you start the alg. But my one, if you put the block on the back and then opposite on the left and do a Soon, then you're just left with U anti-Soon after that. So it is more moves, and debatably less finger trick friendly, because you get a nice sort of trigger with the standard or the alg Kyle uses. But he managed to lock up on that. So I don't know. It's very personal preference between these 2 algs here. Quite a lot of these 2GLL cases with U, and I think T as well, you have the option of either doing the Soon anti-Soon combo or doing just standard RU. I've always opted for Soon anti-Soon, as I feel like it's more consistent. But it's interesting that Kyle chose that alg there, and maybe if he did my alg, he would have got sub 4. I'm gonna make that claim. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna, okay. That's valid. I use the alg Kyle uses actually. I recently finished UTL 2GLL like a few months ago, but that's the alg I learned, because when I learned Tuluk OLL, my standard alg was the inverse of that one, or the one where it's like the opposite and adjacent are switched in their place. And then I was like, oh, wait, this is just the alg on the left side. So I can do it from the back, and then I can get a PLL skip. So I figured that alg on my own when I was like 14, not to flex.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, shout out to Kyle, 408. Great solve. Grabbed the Las Vegas PSL record, I guess. But it's not as good as your PSL PB.
Thank you.
Do you just have one solve better than that? The 349?
Yes, but I have a 412 that wasn't on stream, but I promise you it was real. But yeah, no, only the one, 349. If you're interested in being fast like Kyle, I do coaching. I did lose to him, but it's okay. I know a bit of what I'm talking about. I've been coaching for a few years, and I have a 521 official average. If you're interested in getting coaching from me, you can go to solvewithdylan.com and book a session or get a critique, and I'd love to work with you. Appreciate it.
And if you don't want to get coaching from Dylan, but you still want to get coaching from somebody, I am your man. Really enjoy it. I love spreading the word of cubing and helping people improve in a fun and interesting way. If you want coaching from me, go to millscubing.com, book a session, and I can't wait to see you there.
But hey, PSL Seattle, October 12th. Might get another sub 4.
Hell yeah, I look forward to it. Anyway, we've been hinting about talking about the Miss Scramble problem this entire podcast. So let's just dive into it. I feel like most of you are probably clued up on what happened, but just give us a quick rundown, Dylan. What happened, and why has the world champion for clock changed?
So World Championships 2025, the podium initially was Anthony Stoyek. He got BPA on Salt 5, and he became the world champion. Brendan Dunnigan was second, if I recall correctly. Am I wrong on that?
Second.
Yeah, second, and then Volodymyr was third. And come to find out, a little bit after the competition, apparently there was a misscramble for Solve 5 of Anthony. There was a misscramble in Anthony's average, and there was a misscramble in Brendan's average, presumably due to transport. And after the fact, all hell broke loose. Anthony got revoked of his world championship title. People were told that they could go check scrambles, and Anthony said that he tried to go check them and was denied at the data table to do so. I think similar things were said for like other events as well. But yeah, it's a really unfortunate circumstance. This is not the first time we've seen something like this, but it is the highest stage we've ever seen something like this. And the prize money, if I recall correctly, was given to Volodymyr now. So it's like,
yes, yeah. So the prize for getting first was $1,000 and it seemed like they delayed sending out the prize money until this decision. And like shortly after, Volodymyr had the $1,000 sent to him. And presumably Anthony Stoyek got whatever third place was, I think maybe 250. Like this just sucks, like it sucks for Anthony, all the hard work he put in, sucks for his family as well. We flew all the way out there. Anthony absolutely popped off. He didn't just get BPA, he also got his PR average in the final of a World Championships, which is huge. So the Miss Scramble, at least for Anthony, I don't know much about Brendan's one, was one move. It was like an all +1, which was presumably done in transport in some sort of way, because the scramblers there was 2 scramble checkers. 2 people checked every single scramble at the World Championships finals. And because it was every single dial turned, it's almost impossible that 2 people would miss that. So I don't know if like the way the runner picked it up, the way the judge put it down, somehow turned a dial. But the thing that sucks the most is with Anthony's solution, he actually does one more tick because of the misscramble. So he got a disadvantage because of the misscramble. But as of current, the way the regulations are written, it doesn't matter if you get an advantage or a disadvantage or anything like that. If it's a misscramble and it's found out after a competition and you're a top result, it's in like a championship final or whatever, it's a DNS, which in my opinion, that's extremely strict, especially when it is so obviously a disadvantage. Like there's no way arguing that Anthony got an advantage from this scramble, this miss scramble. So Anthony's mum has been very active on the WCA forums and Facebook and Cubix's friends. Obviously very annoyed about this outcome because Anthony's done everything he possibly could to play by the rules, to solve fairly. He's done everything right. And he gets DNS'd for it, and he misses a world championship title. So yeah, they are appealing the decision. So now the decision was made by the regulations committee. Now it goes to the appeals committee. And I think there's a slim chance it could get changed, because in the WCA WRC post on the WCA forum about this, they claim that all competitors were given the opportunity to check their as you said, to check their scrambles afterwards to make sure they got the right scrambles, and a lot of people are claiming that that wasn't the case, and that's what the WRC say. They say, oh yeah, everybody was given this chance. So I think it seems fair that if they weren't given that chance, there's literally nothing he could do to stop this from happening. Then surely you've got to give it back to him. You can't just take away a record a championship title when they did everything you wanted them to do. Like, what more do you want these clock solvers to do apart from quit and solve a 3x3 instead?
Yeah, it's like, the thing is it even, the onus is even on the competitor to have to check their scrambles, right? Like, I know that Worlds was a lot of work, and like 2,000 people is a huge competition, but it's not like, none of this was inside of his control, and he just gets entirely boned for it. Like, it's like, what do you do? And then like afterwards, he tries to take the necessary steps to ensure that his title wasn't, fraudulent or whatever, and then it's like nothing comes out of it, and it's made it very tricky for cubers, specifically the Pyraminx world champion, to post their results because they're scared of instances like this happening. And this is not, like I said, not only Anthony, it's happened to many other people, but like, this is the highest profile case where it's happened. And like you said, this is just the matter of how the regs are written. So
yeah,
what do we do to fix that?
Yeah, it just sucks that this problem hasn't been solved beforehand. Like, as you said, like, within the last 2 years, there's been 2 world records taken away because of misscrambles. Sebastian Lee smashed the Pyraminx world record. This was before he even had world record in Melbourne in the start of 2024. He had a tip misscramble, which was actually solved instead of scrambled, so it's more arguable that he did actually get an advantage, but still, it sucks, and he had to do an extra on a scramble that sucked, and obviously the nerves got to him. He didn't pull off the world record. I know Carter Thomas lost the clock world record average, and I think his misscramble was objectively worse, and he suffers badly with nerves. So when that was found at the competition, which is much better because then at least you're given the opportunity to do an extra.
Yeah.
And he did set extra, and he was just so nervous, and the scramble sucked, I think. So he lost his world record. I know UK champs recently, there was a clock misscramble that changed the podium. That was just announced just a few weeks before this was. I think you said Noah swore at North American champs.
Yeah.
There was a misscramble.
Context. I think it was either he would have won or gotten second, but then it was a misscramble, so he was just DNF'd.
Yeah. And I mean, even years ago, we had Max Park's like OH world record single that was like a misscramble by one move, which was another presumably done in the box. So like, this has been a problem for ages, and I would have thought
WR
that,
too, right? You hit WR by one move.
Yes,
or WR,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there was an old WR average. That was a little bit different. That wasn't like the last move. That was one move wrong in the scramble, but it meant the solution was almost identical. Like, it wasn't identical, but it was almost identical.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of misscrambles with Ruhang as well, like that Singapore champs, the first one after COVID. There was a bunch of misscrambles. Anyway, it's been a problem for ages. I don't know why it's not been sorted yet. If anything, I hope that even if the decision isn't revoked, they start working on a solution, because this needs to be sorted. This is one of the most like embarrassing things to see in cubing right now, that there is a competitor doing everything correct at a world championships where there is the most volunteers, there's the most everything, there's the most pressure, there's the most prize money, Like this is happening on a big stage. Like it's quite embarrassing as a speed cuber, you know, like this is holding us back from moving into sport territory. I think the change that needs to be made is just to be more lenient. How that is exactly written out in the regulations, like that would take a lot of workshopping. But in cases like this, where it is objectively a harder scramble on the miss scramble, that there's no thought in my mind that shouldn't be allowed. Even cases where it's one tick, like one clock tick in their favor, like mate, that's like milliseconds different. Allow it, fam.
Oh, allow it. Allow
We allow it.
it.
Yeah, and like a Pyraminx tip miss scramble, like turned the wrong way but still scrambled. Like it's fine. Stuff like this, like a one, like the last turn done slightly different. Ones where it's most likely done in the box. That's fine. I don't know what your thoughts on this. If you've got any solutions.
Yeah, in my head, what I think makes the most sense, and I kind of think about this in like speedrunning, right? They have like their mod team, which I guess is what WRC is, but I think having depending on the result, I think having WRC get in contact with top solvers for the event and say, how do you feel about letting this result stand? This is what they did with Kalindu, because people on WRC like weren't the best at FMC, and so they consulted the top level FMC solvers, and they were like, yeah, this is not legit, like this is kind of sus. I think do the same thing, but just have them as counsel and say, okay, how do you feel about this result being allowed? Was this actually measurably better? Was this measurably worse? And instances where like maybe the miss scramble is not as similar to the intended state, having them come in and say, this is comparable enough, it is fine. And like you said, in instances where it's like objectively worse, allow it. Like just let it happen.
Yeah,
like it's not the biggest deal. And the system that we have currently is like way worse than just allowing it. Like what, you're gonna give them an entirely random new scramble that is entirely different than the one intended? Like I would rather have something that is at least close enough to the intended state, and then like if I'm a top solver, I feel some type of way about that, sure, just like consult a group of them and try to come to a decision there. But I think that's the only way forward, is the way we have delegate discretion with results or decisions, have delegate discretion or WRC discretion on whether or not a result should stand. And I don't see another way you can really tackle it.
Yeah, I feel like having some sort of like professionalist panel, professional panel or a committee where you've got like, I don't know, 20 experienced solvers, like well versed in all events, and cases of miss scrambles, you just go, you give the case to this panel and you go, hey, did this person get a meaningful advantage from this miss scramble? And they vote on it. Maybe something like that could be implemented, and we just do that instead, because there's not really that many cases where there's a miss scramble at the top level. Like it maybe happens once or twice a month. That's not going to be a huge undertaking for a committee like this. Like I'd be happy to volunteer, like, I don't know, half an hour a week to something like that, just to look at a miss scramble and vote on a poll. I think maybe that's something they could do. But truth be told, they just have to do something. Whatever they do, they've got to do something, and I hope they do it soon. I hope they don't let the timeline or the deadline of a January 1st regulations change hold them back. I hope they push the regulation changes back to do it all at the same time, or they just push out a miss scramble change as soon as they possibly can, like 1st of March or something like that. But I don't want to wait another year. I don't want to see more deserving world records, more deserving championship titles taken away just because of some poorly written regulations.
Yeah, most definitely needs to be addressed. If anything, it's very unfortunate this happened, but if it didn't happen, was it ever really going to be fixed?
Yeah,
Remains to be
maybe we needed something like at the top. But you'd think like a world record would be
Yeah.
big enough
No.
to solve this. Did we really have to see it happen at a world championship? And if they don't fix it now, what do we need to see a world record at a world championship? Hey, what if Timon's 5x5 was scrambled? I guess they'd allow that because it's 5x5.
Yeah.
But you know,
Well, that's in the regs, but yeah, it's just weird. It's weird, but I am glad that there is a lot of talk and in turn, hopefully, action from the WCA side to address this and prevent it from happening again.
yeah, definitely. Anyway, before we wrap this up, Dylan shared on his social medias just yesterday,
Yeah.
asking for everybody's cubing hot takes. So we're gonna rapid fire through these. We've got a few to talk about. So what's the first one we've got here?
This is from Daniel Partridge. Being a top all-rounder is way more impressive than being a top 25 3x3 solver, and they should get more recognition than they do for it.
Okay, like, in my opinion, it takes more skill to be a top all-rounder than to be a top 25 3x3 solver. Like, let's say Martin Egdal, the former SOR world record for, all-rounding. I feel like he has more cubing skill than whoever's like around 25th in the world for 3x3. That's maybe like Kyle, someone like that. I reckon Martin has more cubing skill, but do they deserve more recognition? I don't know. In my opinion, the goal of cubing in general is to get our records as fast as possible, right? I want to see people smashing records. And if you're sitting at home practicing, I don't know, all 17 events, you're nerfing yourself and reducing your ability to break records. And what I want to see is records broken. So I don't know. I feel like it takes more skill. Does it deserve more recognition? Maybe not. I don't know. What do you think?
I think maybe they deserve more recognition than they get present day. I do not think being an all-arounder should give you more recognition than being a top 3x3 solver from a completely unbiased perspective. Because the reason why 3x3 has the biggest prize pool at Worlds, the reason why people know the 3x3 in public conscience is because it is the most popular thing. And therefore, if you are the best at the most popular thing, then you get more recognition for that. It is by far the most diluted event in terms of people competing. It is the hardest to get top level at. And I'm not an all-arounder, but I've always said that even before Luke had SOAR, like world records or whatever, I always said that Luke was the best all-arounder because he was the best all-arounder who was good at 3x3, who was really good at 3x3. And like the StuCube video really put that into context because, yeah, like you're saying, like all-rounding's cool, but jack of all trades is not as cool as like I'd rather be a guy who could shoot a basketball really good from anywhere on the court than the guy who do like a little bit of everything on the court. That's just me. Because I think, like you're saying, specializing is cool. Also, it's going to be required at a certain point. Like, you can't just do every event. Like, even we're seeing that with Luke now, where, like, if he does all these finals at Worlds, like, good to him. Like, that's amazing. But it is really draining, and it can hurt you in the events that, like, maybe you really care a lot about. So, specializing, been doing it forever. I think it's goated. Shout out to the all-arounders though. Y'all really be putting on for the locals.
Yeah. Last thing there is, if you look at other sports, right? Let's look at athletics. We've got athletics has the decathlon and the heptathlon. So that is their all-rounding event. Well, like for the men's, the decathlon, they do 10 different athletic disciplines. And it's really cool, but name a decathlete, right?
Yeah.
Nobody knows a decathlete. I can maybe picture a famous UK heptathlete, but I can't remember their name. And then name a sprinter, everybody knows sprinters. Some people even know like pole vaulters, you got Duplantis, he's huge right now. Anyway, like it's not just cubing where all rounding is sidelined for specializing,
Yeah.
right? Like we see it in athletics. I don't know. I'd be keen to see a decathlon event here in New Zealand. We have a yearly last year and this year we've got a competition called the decathlon where we do 10 events, and the unofficial winner of the competition is like whoever does best as the average of those 10 events. Which James McDermott figured out some statistics thing to do that. And that was really fun last year. I really enjoyed that. I'd love to see more people do that at competitions, and maybe it would bring some more attention to all-rounders. But yeah, shout out to Daniel Partridge. He is a great all-rounder himself, and he's also a specialist. Like he still has national records. So yeah, shout out to him. He's crazy fast. Anyway, what do we have next?
Rankings are inaccurate sometimes because all competitors have a different amount of rounds. This is insanely based.
Yeah, I honestly I agree with that. Like we said earlier, comparing Matty to Luke Garrett.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Matty is objectively a faster 3x3 solver than Luke, but Luke competes like 7 times a week, especially when he's not at school. So
Yeah.
he just has so many more rounds and so many more opportunities to get a fast average than Matty. So honestly, I don't even think this is a hot take. I agree.
For me, it's more so like, yes, I think this is common knowledge. Like rankings are kind of bad because of the round discrepancy, but I think it more so points to the fact that we need to change the ranking system. Because
Yeah.
best result ever is not indicative of like consistent skill. I think like moving average is a much better determining statistic on like how good someone is, and that's why we have those stats, just not officially recognized by the WCA.
Yeah, or even just like year to date record, like
Yeah.
season record, stuff like that is a simple thing to add that's less complicated than like a moving average thing or something like that. But especially in a sport like sport like cubing, I guess I think that's one of the other hot takes we're going to talk about. There is a lot of luck involved. So it's not really comparable to a sport like sprinting or something like that, where there's almost no luck involved. So I would like to see a system like moving average, maybe something a little simpler, used to more accurately rank top cubers. But yeah, correct hot take, I reckon.
Yeah. Shout out Yov. That's the goat. No one will ever be 3 times 3x3 world champion. Gut reaction.
I just think that's true.
Really?
I think like we're already talking. Let's say right now, Yi Heng Wang 3x3 world champion. Okay. Or let's look at the current 2-time world champions, Felix Mdeg's, Max Park. I don't think either of them are ever going to win 3x3 again at a world championship, right? I think we can agree on
Never
that.
say never. Max could do it.
Mate, Max was like 1.7 seconds behind the winning average at Worlds. Okay, I I don't think it's happening. And then let's look at Yiheng, right? He's got 1 under his belt.
Yeah.
We're already talking about how next time it's going to be tough for him. Like this might be his only chance. Like Xuan Yi is improving at a crazy rate. Seems to have slowed down now. He's real close. And in 2 years, a lot can change in 2 years, let alone 4 years. We don't even know what Worlds is going to be in 2029. I just don't think we're going to see Yiheng be able to hold on for, like, I reckon maybe he can win in 2 years, 4 years. I don't think so. And just as we get further and further along with cubing, it's going to get more and more popular, hopefully more and more popular. And I just don't think somebody's going to be on top for over 4 years. I just don't think we're going to see that.
I see where you're coming from. And I think it makes a lot of sense. In my heart of hearts, I think if Yiheng doesn't quit cubing, keeps on the same type of regimen he's on right now, I don't see why he wouldn't be able to win in the next 4 years. Like I get Schwanni's really good, right? But I don't know. I still give the edge to Yihang unless I see Schwanni start like turning at 14, 15 TPS. Nah, I don't see
I don't know.
it.
Yeah, I agree for 2027, but I'm not even talking Zhuanyi for 2029. I'm talking whoever's like in the womb right now. You know, like who's
I
going to
just
be absolutely speedy in 2029. Who's just picking up a cube right now? Who's just got their first sub 10 average at their first comp? Like we don't know. Like cubing is moving so fast. I think it's going to continue to move so fast. I don't
yeah.
see whatever 16-year-old Zhuanyi, not Zhuanyi, Yihang. I mean, yeah, 16, that's still young. He could
It is.
he could still win. I reckon if he won in 2023, then yeah, we would see a 3-time world champ. Because then if he didn't win in 27, he could win in 29. He could win in 31. But I don't know. I agree.
Okay. Last one. And this one's been beat like a dead horse. Cubing isn't a sport. Oh buddy. Oh buddy. You know, they're partially right. Cubing
Yeah.
to some people is a hobby. To me, cubing's a sport. I participate in cubing in a sport context. Also as a hobby, but it can be both things at the same time. Just because it's a hobby doesn't mean it's not a sport. And just because it's a sport doesn't mean it's not a hobby. Like, I play basketball in a non paid context at the local park, and it's a hobby to me. But that doesn't mean that LeBron James is a hobbyist basketball player. Like, that is like the crux of everything I believe. Like, this has been beat, and I just, I don't know. It was funny because you mentioned, yeah, it's not a sport because the things happening in the organization right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like honestly, like this isn't too much of a hot take at the moment. I feel like you ask most cubers, most standard average Joes in the cubing community, and they'd be like, "Nah, this cubing isn't a sport." But then if you ask all the top cubers, they're gonna say, "Yeah, cubing is a sport." In my opinion, I think we're close. You know, I feel like a lot of people like yourself treat it like a sport from an organization's perspective. Officially, like we're not currently registered as a sport in any sort of IOC or anything like that. But that's something they're working on. I think I hope to see us get there. You know, become a more serious organization. Be registered within sporting organizations. I think we will get there. As of now, yeah, I treat it when I go to a competition. I treat it like a sport.
I don't know. I think it's a matter of perception. I think if you treat it like a sport, it's a sport. Freaking tennis wasn't a sport until it became one, and a corner sport until it became one. Same with darts, etc., etc., etc. There's plenty of things. Darts. There's plenty of things that like started out as just like silly little yard games, and now it is a recognized thing with people getting paid and organizers getting paid, sponsors coming in. Like you can't tell me after like what 500,000 views on the VODs from World Champions plus 15,000 people watching the finals that like, oh no, it's just all in good fun. Like we weren't even like we don't even care about it like that. Like no, dude, you clearly like I hope at least like the non-cubers who saw the World Championships or the entry level cubers look at it as a sport, and then if you start looking at it in that perspective, like from as soon as you get into the community, which you don't need to participate in that degree, you can treat it like a hobby, but then I think it pushes it forward, and yeah, I think it's conflicting viewpoints right now, but I'm hopeful that we'll get our stuff together in one way or another, and yeah, we'll be a sport.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Anyway, that's it for cubing hot takes. If you have any other ones or if you have any thoughts to what we say here, let us know in the comments. I'm sure we'll do this again because it's always fun to chat about this kind of stuff. But last thing before we go is we're going to do a race. And I just realized I don't think we've prepared a scramble. So I'm going to open CS Timer and send you a message real quick.
Yeah, send me a message.
It's quite predictable. Anyway, let's go. Okay, let's inspect.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have no inspection timer going on here.
No, we don't.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh.
Bro.
Yes, I remembered it. Okay, I
Oh
learned
my
that
goodness.
HCB like last week, and I was talking about ZB earlier. I've got to do it. What was your time?
760.
Yeah, I got a 10.
Dude, I did 6 pairs. I did like 6, 7 pairs. Like, oh my.
It's all right. I'll get there one day. That was like my first solve of the day, apart from reconning that solve earlier.
Yeah.
And I recognized the ZB after like 5 seconds, but I
You
got
know,
there
that is
eventually.
huge. That is, you did better than I did. I think in spirit you got the win.
Okay, I'll take the spirit win. But we're gonna do this every week. We'll put the scramble in the comments, so let us know what you got. I'm sure you're gonna beat me, and probably a lot of you will beat Dylan as well. But yeah, thank you for watching. This was actually quite a long episode, probably longer than we expected, but I enjoyed having a yap with you, Dylan. We're gonna hope to get this to you every week for as long as we can. We might have to pre-record some episodes because we go to competitions a lot. So that's going to
Yeah,
make it
that's
difficult.
true.
But let us know if you have any topics you want us to talk about. Also, send us some videos of your solves and some reconstructions, and we might analyze them or use them to give some tips for next week. And yeah, thank you for watching, Dylan. Any final words? Thank you for watching, Dylan. Thank you for being here, Dylan. And thank you for watching. Dylan, any final words?
Thank you for being here, Mr. Chris
Thank
Mills.
you. Thank you.
I've thoroughly enjoyed the debut pilot episode of the Millisecond, and I hope that the viewers at home did too. Thank y'all for watching.
Yes.
I appreciate all of you. And yeah,
All right.
see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.